All right, guys, today we are going to do a little bit of review. We've already covered some of this, but we're going to just go over it again because it's important. So the first thing we are going to talk about is reciprocals. So a reciprocal, which we have talked about before, when we see the word reciprocal, it means to flip our fraction. So if I have a fraction, that means I'm going to flip the top and the bottom numbers, okay? We do this when we divide fractions. So if you can remember, we do keep, change, flip when we divide. We do keep, change, flip. So that can kind of help you remember when we are dividing fractions, we have to find the reciprocal, and that means to flip. So to practice, it says find the reciprocal. Reciprocal means to flip again. So find the reciprocal of the following fractions or flip the following fractions. So if I have 1/3, if I'm going to flip 1/3, I just take my top and my bottom numbers and I switch them. So now that's 3/1. If I have 7/4, I'm going to flip it, and that's 4/7. Okay. And then if I have 5/8, I then have 8/5. And notice this one right here, this fraction in the middle is improper. It does not matter. We can still flip it. These two are just regular fractions. So we can flip it no matter what kind of fraction is. We can find the reciprocal. Okay? And so again, we only do that when we divide fractions. If we multiply, we do top times top, bottom times bottom. But in dividing, we do keep, change, flip. And we flip the second number because the flip's in the back. We keep the first one. So let's actually look at an example. It says which expression is equivalent, equivalent means equals, to 7/8 divided by 6/9. So let's look at our answer choices. We have A, B, C, and D. Let's look at our symbols here. What does that dot mean to do? Right, that means to multiply. So remember, that dot means multiplication. So that's the same in all of them. That should give us a hint that when we divide, we don't really divide. We do our keep, change, flip. So if I do keep, change, flip, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite what I should have. So my K stands for keep. That means I keep this first fraction here. So I keep 7/8. We change division to multiplication, and that's why all of our answer choices have multiplication in the middle, that dot. And then I flip or find the reciprocal of 6/9. And if I do that, I just switch them around, and that becomes 9/6. Okay, so now that I have written this, I can see which one matches. So let's look at our first fraction, 7/8. So in A, I have 7/9. My 9 does not match my 8, so I automatically know that's not going to be right. B, I have 7/8. I'm good there. C, 7/8. D, I have 8/7. So this might be kind of tricky because they flipped my first one, but we know with keep, change, flip, I keep my first fraction, so I cannot do that either. So now I'm between B and C. Again, they both have 7/8. They both have multiplication. So the difference in this one is that last fraction. In this one, they kept 6/9. And we know from when we rewrote it that we're supposed to flip it, so it's supposed to be 9/6. So our answer would be C there. All right, let's look at example number 2. It says, which statement about 3 multiplied by 2/3 is true? So my key word here is multiplied. So I know I am multiplying 3 and 2/3. And it says true, so I know it has to be correct. So first thing I need to do is solve 3 times 2/3. So that's our first step. We need to solve this, and I went ahead and wrote it out so it could be a little bit nice and neat for us. So I need to make 3 into a fraction, and I do that by putting it over 1 because whole numbers go over 1. I'm going to rewrite that. I have 3/1 times 2/3. And since I'm already multiplying, I do top times top, bottom times bottom. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. But I notice that my top number is bigger. That means it's improper. And do we ever leave a fraction as an improper? No. So I need to divide. We keep getting tricked by this right here, but that means I need to divide. If it is the top number is bigger, I need to divide this. So I can label my cowboy and my horse. I'm going to go ahead and divide this. My 6 goes inside, my 3 outside. So 3 goes into 6 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract, I get 0. So I have 2. Awesome. So now we can put equals 2. Now I can look at my answer choices and see which one is true. So A says the product is between 3 and 4. So again, product is just the answer to our multiplication problem. So it's saying that 2, we can just say 2 is between 3 and 4. So does it go 3 to 4? No, so 2 can't be between 3 and 4. So I'm going to mark that out. Okay, so the product, which I know is my answer, so 2 is less than 2/3. Okay, so I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. I'm not really sure. So this one, 2, because it says the product, that's just my answer. 2 is between 2/3 and 3. Okay, so I might have to think about that one. Let's look at D. The product, which is 2, 2 is greater than 4. So is 2 greater? Greater means bigger. So is 2 bigger than 4? No, it's smaller. So I know it can't be D either. So let's look at B and C. Let's think here. So let's look at B. It says 2 is less than 2/3. So there's 2 ways I could go about this. I know that 2/3 really, if I divided it and I know my decimals, that's 0.66. And I know 2 can be written like this, and 0.66 can be written like that. So this is essentially saying, if I thought of it like dollars, that $2 is less than 66 cents. And is that true? No. I can also think of this as like a fraction. If I have a circle, if I make this into 2/3 like this, I can shade in my 2/3. And is 2/3 less than 2 wholes? It's 2 less than 2/3. No, it's not. So I know it's not B either. But is 2 between 2/3 and 3? So could I have 0.66 and then 2 and then 3? Yes, I could, because these are my whole numbers. So it would be C. All right, make sure you rewrite your problems. When you have division, you do keep, change, flip, rewrite it, see which one works out for you. If you have a problem, don't forget, if it is improper, we need to divide. You have to do that first. Get your answer as simple as possible before you start trying to see what works. And get your worksheet and you can get started.